Marcus had built his fortune through decades of hard work and smart decisions, but lately he wondered if any of it truly mattered. At 58 years old, with silver threading through his dark hair and lines around his eyes that told stories of boardrooms and sleepless nights, he had everything except what he truly wanted: genuine connection. 3 months ago, he had met Victoria at a charity gala. She was younger, beautiful, with her golden blonde hair and bright smile that seemed to light up every room she entered. Within weeks, he had proposed. The diamond caught the light beautifully, just like the promise she whispered in his ear on that spring evening when he slipped it onto her finger. But something felt hollow lately. Late-night phone calls where she mentioned shopping with her friends. Weekend plans that changed whenever his schedule did. A slight hesitation in her kiss each morning. One rainy Tuesday, Marcus made a decision that would either confirm his fears or ease his doubts forever. He called his longtime chauffeur, James, with an unexpected request. He would take James's place for the afternoon. He would drive Victoria and her 3 closest friends to their charity planning meeting downtown, remaining completely silent. Just another hired driver in a gray uniform and cap pulled low. The women chattered freely as they climbed into the back seat, their voices bright with gossip and laughter. Marcus focused on the road, his heart beating faster than it should. From a rear-view mirror, he could see Victoria's reflection, the way her eyes caught the light from the windows. For the first 20 minutes, they talked about the charity event, about decorations and catering. Then Sarah, the woman in the yellow blouse with auburn hair swept to one side, asked Victoria the question that would change everything. How are things with Marcus? They wanted to know if she was truly happy. There was a pause, a silence that felt like forever to the man gripping the steering wheel. Victoria sighed, and when she spoke, her voice was different, softer, more honest than he had heard it in months. "I need to tell you something I have not told anyone," she said slowly. "When I met Marcus, I thought I wanted what he represented. The money, the success, the penthouse apartment. My family was struggling, and he seemed like the answer to every worry I have carried since I was young." Marcus felt something crack inside his chest. But then something unexpected happened. Victoria continued. "Over these past 3 months, I have gotten to know him, the real him, not the millionaire, not the powerful businessman. The man who leaves his morning coffee half finished because he sits with me and listens to my fears about my mother's health. The man who remembered that I love lavender and had the entire penthouse wrapped in its scent on my birthday. The man who cried during that old movie last weekend, the one about the couple who lost everything but had each other." In the front seat, Marcus's eyes grew wet. "I realized something terrifying," Victoria said. "I started loving him, actually loving him. Not for what he can give me, but for who he is. And that is so much more frightening than wanting his money ever was, because money cannot be lost in the way that love can be." She took a breath, and he heard the tremor in her voice. "My father keeps pushing me to ask Marcus for more, to demand things, to take advantage while I can. But I cannot do it, because somewhere along the way, this became real. I became real. And I do not want to be the person who destroys something this precious." The woman in the blue jacket leaned forward, and Marcus recognized her as Diane, Victoria's oldest friend. "Are you saying you want to leave him?" Diane asked gently. "No," Victoria said. "I am saying I want to stay. But I am terrified that when he finds out about my family situation, when he understands that I was not entirely honest about why I said yes to his proposal, he will see me as someone who tried to use him, and I cannot bear that. I would rather walk away now than watch the love fade from his eyes." The third woman, Elena, in her green dress with her dark hair loose around her shoulders, reached over and squeezed Victoria's hand. "Have you thought about just telling him the truth?" Elena asked. "Maybe he deserves to know who you really are. Maybe he already does." "That is the hardest part," Victoria whispered. "I think he might already see me, the real me, and I do not know how to trust that someone like him could love someone like me." Marcus pulled the car slowly to the curb outside their destination. He sat for a moment, both hands on the wheel, before he turned around to face them. As he removed the cap from his head, Victoria's face went pale. "Someone like me loves someone like you very much," Marcus said quietly. more than I have loved anyone in my entire life. Because of your honesty right now. Because of your willingness to walk away rather than harm me. Because you wept for someone's pain before you considered your own gain." He looked directly at her with eyes that held no anger, only the deep understanding that comes from truly knowing another person. "I am not afraid of your family struggles or why you initially said yes. I am only grateful that you chose to stay, because you could not do otherwise. That is real love, Victoria. That is the only kind that matters." Victoria's hands trembled as tears streamed down her face. "I am sorry," she said, "for not believing you could love me for myself." "And I am sorry," Marcus replied, "for never giving you the chance to tell me the truth sooner. We both made the mistake of thinking love has to be simple or certain. But the most beautiful things in life are complicated and fragile and worth fighting for." He turned the car back toward the penthouse, and as he drove, Victoria placed her hand gently on his shoulder. In that moment, as the rain continued to fall softly outside and the city moved around them in its endless dance, both of them understood something profound. Love is not about being perfect. It is about seeing each other completely and choosing to stay anyway. Thank you so much for spending this time with this story. If this tale touched your heart, please like this video to help it reach others who might need to hear about the power of honesty and true connection. Share it with someone you care about. Subscribe to our channel so you never miss a story that reminds us what it means to truly see and love one another. And please leave a comment below telling us what this story meant to you. Your voice matters, and we would love to hear your thoughts.